If there are 3 cows and I ask you to add 2 cows, how many cows will be there? There will be 3 plus 2, that is 5 cows. Now, if I represent a cow by an X, so in place of each cow, if we have X, so we have X, 2X, 3X. We have 3X here, 1X, 2X. We have 2X here, so 3X plus 2X will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have 5X here. So we can write it as 3X plus 2X as 5X. So just like we can add similar things, we can add like terms. Since we added cows to cows, we can add X to X. So 3X and 2X gives us 5X. But if there are 3 cows and I ask you to add 2 liters of milk to it, will you be able to add it? No. So if I represent a cow by an X, I have 3X here. I represent 1 liter of milk with Y. So I have 1Y, 2Y. I have 2Y here. So I cannot add these two. So if 1 cow is X and 1 liter of milk is Y, 3X plus 2Y cannot be added. So we cannot add dissimilar things. Similarly, we cannot add unlike terms because unlike terms stand for dissimilar things. Now, if you have ever come across a question like this, what do? You simply take this part common, 1, 5, 8, 9, 7. You take this part common. And add these two, that is you add 3 and 2. So this saves you a lot of effort of multiplying this huge number twice. Similarly, if we represent this number, this huge number with X, if we put X in place of this number, then we get 3X plus 2X is equal to 5X. So we have grouped these two terms together to get 5X. However, if you have a question like this, 3 into 15897 plus 2 into 365, then what can you do? So if we represent this with an X and we represent this by Y, because we have already represented 15897 by X, we cannot use the same symbol for 365. We have to represent it with a different symbol. So if X is 15897 and Y is 365, this expression can be written as 3X plus 2Y. But now we cannot group them together because these are two different numbers. Here we were able to group it because these are the same numbers. Here these are two different numbers, hence these are unlike terms, so we cannot group them together and we have to write it as 3X plus 2Y. Now if I ask you to add 3 cows, 2 liters of milk and 1 cow, what will you have? Although you cannot add milk and cows, but you can add cows to cows. So you will have 4 cows and 2 liters of milk. So if I represent a cow by an X, we have 3x here. 1 liter of milk with y. We have 2y here. This is again an x. So we could add all these x. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 x's. So we could add all these x to get 4x and 2y. So we have 4x plus 2y. Writing it in simpler manner, we have 3x plus 2y plus x. Now over here, which are the like terms? 3x and x are the like terms. So we write it as 3x plus x plus 2y is an unlike term. 3x plus x plus 2y. Now since these two are like terms, we can add these. How do we add these? Now when we add two like terms, their sum is a like term. So their sum is a like term with coefficient equal to the sum of the coefficients of individual terms. So when we have 3x and x and we add them, we get a term containing x. The coefficient of this term will be 3 plus 1. So 4x. And since 2y is an unlike term, we write it as it is. So we get 4x plus 2y. Hence we see that we can add like terms, but we cannot add unlike terms. Now let us add 10y and negative 13y. So initially, when we had learnt addition, we used to write the terms to be added in columns and used to add them. We'll do the same now. So we write 10y and negative 13y. So these are like terms. Their sum will be another like term, that is the term with algebraic part y. Coefficient will be the sum of these two coefficients, that is 10 and negative 13. The sum of 10 and negative 13 is negative 3. So this is the answer. 10 and negative 13y, their addition gives us negative 3y. Now we have to add 11pq and 6qp. So we have 6qp. What is 6qp? It is 6 into q into p. Now we can write it as 6 into p into q, because q into p is the same as p into q. We get 6pq. So this and this are like terms, 11pq and 6pq. These are like terms, although they appear to be unlike terms initially, but these are actually like terms because p multiplied with q is the variable part here. P multiplied with q is the variable part here. So they have the same variable parts and hence they are the like terms. So we can add them. So let's write them in column. 11pq, 6pq, the variable part remains the same, pq. 11 plus 6 gives us 17. So we get 17pq as the answer. Now we need to add 9p cube and 3p into p square. 3p into p square gives us 3p cube. Again, this and this are like terms, so they can be added. 9p cube, 3p cube. They have the same variable part, p cube. So let us add them. 9p cube added to 3p cube. The variable part remains the same, p cube. We add the numeric part, which is 9 and 3. 9 plus 3 gives us 12. So this is 12p cube, which is our answer. Now we need to add 11ab, 6bc, 17ca. So is any of these a like term? Here we have A multiplied with B, B multiplied with C. So these two are not like terms. B multiplied with C and C multiplied with A. So these two are also not like terms. And even these are not like terms. So 11AB. Then we need to write 6BC in the second row. But since this is not a like term as AB, we need to write it separately. 6BC. We cannot write it below AB because it is not a like term as AB. It is an unlike term, so we need to write it separately. Similarly, for 17CA, we have to write it here because it is not a like term as any of these two. So we write all three in different columns. And adding these three, we get 11AB plus 6BC plus 17CA. So this is what we get. There are no like terms, so we cannot simplify it further. Now we need to add these two expressions. So let's write them in column format. 7x plus 4x square plus 5x cube. Now let's come to the second expression. We'll write it in the second row. 11xy. Do we have an xy term here? No. So plus 11xy is written here. Negative 15x square. Do we have an x square term here? Yes. So negative 15x square is written here. Negative 12x cube. We have an x cube term, so we write it here. So this is what we get. And now we add it. So what have we done actually? We have written all the terms with like terms one below the other in columns. And now we add this. So in this column, we just have 7x. So we write 7x. In this column, we have plus 4x square and negative 15x square. So these two give us minus 11x square. In this column, we have 5x cube minus 12x cube. So we can write minus 7x cube. Here we just have 11xy. So we simply write 11xy. So this is our answer. Now we need to subtract 4p minus 13q from 2p plus 3q. So we need to subtract this from this. So which one should I write first? This or this? This should be written first. 2p plus 3q should be written first. And we need to subtract this. Again, we write the like terms below the like terms. So 4p is written below 2p and 13q is written below 3q. And since this is subtraction, we need to change the sign. Since this is positive, this becomes negative. This is negative, this becomes positive. So this is what we have. Now we can do what we did in addition. So 2p minus 4p. Remember, this is not plus 4p now because we need to subtract it. So this becomes minus 4p. 2p minus 4p gives us minus 2p. 3q plus 13q. 3q plus 13q gives us 16q. So this is what we have. Now this column method, it takes up a lot of our time. So we can also do it by writing in a single line. Let us see how. First we write 2p plus 3q and we need to subtract 4p minus 13q from that. So this is what we have. Now let us open these brackets. So 2p plus 3q remains the same. We have a minus sign here. So what will happen as I open the bracket? Will this be plus 4p or minus 4p? It will be minus 4p. Now again, considering this minus sign, minus into minus gives us plus. So this will be plus 13q. Again, we now list down the like terms together. What are the like terms here? 2p and minus 4p. (3q plus 13q). So these are the like terms. And let's simplify them. Simplifying them, we get 2p minus 4p gives minus 2p. 3q plus 13q. What will it give? Another like term, that is a term containing the same variable part q and the sum of 3 and 13, which is 16. So we get the same answer. So we can do it in any of the methods. So minus 2p plus 16q is the answer. Now subtract 3x minus 2xy from minus y minus 6xy. So let us try and do it. Which one should we write first? We should write minus y minus 6xy first, and we need to subtract 3x minus 2xy from that. So minus y minus 6xy minus this term. Now let us open the brackets. We get minus y minus 6xy minus into 3x gives minus 3x minus into minus 2xy gives plus 2xy. So if we have a minus sign and we open the bracket, we need to change the sign. So plus 3x becomes minus 3x, minus 2xy becomes plus 2xy. Then we get, now is there any term containing only y here? Just one term, which is minus y. Next, we have minus 6xy. So is there any other term containing xy? Yes, there is a term containing only xy. That is plus 2xy. And we have another term, minus 3x. So these two are like terms. This is an unlike term and this is an unlike term. So we can combine these two and we get the answer as minus y, minus 6xy plus 2xy gives us minus 4xy, minus 3x. So this is the correct answer.